time I get back. Hey, to chill. Hey, Uther, how you doing?
Would you like that? Mummy! Mummy! It's all right, Vanra. Stay right here.
Thank you to chill. Posted the picture. It's Tooch. I see Tooch posted
That's right.
the Firefly teaser poster.
Those charms all sound a bit out of my price range.
When it comes to magical protection,
So now I'm just banking my tickets until she drops.
You hungry, sweet girl? How about we bake something? You love baking. Remember?
The fists will start breaking heads.
We could go for a walk. Would you like that? It's all right. It's all right, Vanra.
Hopefully you can hear me. Baby's obviously sleeping, so
What do you think happened to the Albrights anyway?
Buggered off because of the absolute, didn't they? Stupid of them if you ask me. It's much safer this side of the city
Find
walls.
yourself a stay.
Everything is going to be all right.
The place up properly.
I promise.
stop marking his sleep time, but
Here.
well, the others are ready to drop everything and leave.
Took control of my fiance.
We need to stand up.
Have you got anything I can use to bring him back?
The harder it'll be to force some change.
let me keep an eye on how much he's sleeping in one, so
How about we bake something? You love baking. Remember?
Anything to keep us in our
Opportunists, the lot of them. And not the
We could go for a walk. Would you like that? Mummy! Mummy! It's all right. It's all right, Vanra. We'll stay right here. Out of my price range.
When it comes to magical protection, I'd really spare no expense.
It's precisely in times of trouble that we need images of
They've got armies.
Everything is going to be all right. I promise. Mummy! That's right. Mummy is here. Bake something. You love baking. Remember?
The city's going to shit.
This is the private abode of Alexander Rainforest. Friends make appointments, clients respect office hours.
If common sense can't sway them, a publicity disaster.
see if we can find a way.
now.
Lord Gortash needs to send the steel watch through here, mop up all this riffraff. God, I think even they'd have their work cut out for them.
I knew I should have done this before. Have you seen any gazetteers around? New editions out?
What do you think happened to the
Trust me, it's much safer this side of the city. Mummy! Mummy!
Before they left.
Can't sway them. Perhaps a publicity
It's like mine away. Is that her?
Would you like that? It's all right, Van Ryn.
I'd really spare no expense.
What do you think happened to the old rights anyway?
Stupid of them if you ask me. It's much safer this side of the city walls.
Should have at least locked the place up proper before they left.
I applaud your taste.
I'm more worried about what happens when my belly runs empty.
Immediately.
Looking ahead. Have to keep going.
Should report this to the Gazette.
If common sense can't sway them, perhaps a publicity disaster.
It's all right, Van Ryn.
Can't blame them, I suppose. They've got issues to deal with.
Cometh the hour, cometh the hamster.
Think even they'd have their work cut out.
Don't you dare puke on your uniform.
Do the honors, boo.
Is that blood? No, never mind.
Back again? I know a reader when I see one. What'll it be? If a book's dog-eared, you know it's good. That's my rule.
If not over, then through.
So we might be able to help you.
You moron. We could be fired for this. Tell that to Glitterbeard. He'll have our heads.
I'm trying to get into here.
I am.
Here goes nothing.
Don't you dare puke on your uniform.
Henk House. Keep out.
Mead.
We have to go back to the counting house. What were you thinking?
Ah, don't be a dry shite. No one will.
I want to have a word.
You here for water too? Don't bother, it's broken. Just like the rest of our public services.
Can't blame them, I suppose. They've got our... Might have to switch to ale if the water supply keeps failing. Don't bother, it's broken.
Buggered off because of the absolute, didn't they? I'm sorry. That was stupid of them if you ask me. It's much safer this side of the city walls.
Should have at least. Don't go peeking in the window of that house on the corner. You might get an arrow to the face.
Move along, nothing to see here. At least by day, thank the gods. Do you hear those noises coming out of the old Albright place?
Louder than foxes, and all through the night.
You know what it is, don't you? Criminals.
Opportunists, the lot of them. And not a thought for their name.
People don't bloody look where they're walking. That's right. Folk these days have no manners.
Didn't they? Stupid of them if you ask me. It's much safer this side of the city walls.
Should have at least locked the place up properly.
Do you hear those noises
It's a
coming
long
out the
way
old
from
Albright
Waterdeep.
place?
Louder than foxes, and all through the night.
Make a couple.
Latest Baldur's Mount edition. Oh, dynamite. That Lord Gortash. Should have his own column. Never mind, Justin.
Sword at my side and hamster at hand.
They'd have their work
All
cut out
right.
for them.
What now?
What do you think happened to the Albrights anyway?
side of the city walls.
Should have at least locked the place up proper before we left.
Well, well, well.
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times. At the ready.
How much did you drink, you idiot, Duke?
I'll give it a shot.
It's not that. It's that no politician
Hello, hello. Ooh, are you the new cheese dropper? I do hope so. I'm almost down to the last crumbs. Alexander was his name. He dropped all manner of morsels, but the cheeses were the best. Until the Red Man visited. A dwarf, all dressed in red. He smiled and held Alexander close, and then Alexander was shouting and struggling, and soon he was all dressed in red as well. So many red morsels fell out of Alexander. They tasted like salt and rust. Very good, even better than cheese. A way to make more people red and to spill their tasty morsels. Go away now. Your delicious scent makes me crave your morsels, but it would be rude to bite you.
Can't blame them, I suppose. They've got armies to deal with.
It's not that. It's that no politician ever went down in history for fixing the problem.
History if you want to see die first.
We have to go back to the counting house. What were you thinking?
Steal watch through here. Mop up all this riffraff.
No one
I think even they'd have their work cut out for them.
Don't bother. It's broken.
This one too. This is the third fountain I've tried.
Fourth for me. City's going to shit.
Deep breaths, lad. You'll be right in no time.
You want a drink? Let's get one for the road.
This is a ritual killing. Easy. And the murderer wanted it found.
Hungry for blood.
Let's move.
The clown's foot. Well, all right.
are my hamster.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Still breathing, despite everything.
Justice walks on 4 feet and sleeps in my boot.
What to do? Light on my feet.
Step soft. Steel sharp, hamster hungry.
Step carefully. There's a trap. Can't give up now. Moving ahead.
stuff.
Before entering Baldur's Gate proper, smuggling or any other form of deceit will not be tolerated. Will be dealt with swiftly.
I just hope somewhere has good dwarven beer.
There she stands, just as Elminster promised. Mystra, goddess of the weave, mother of all magic.
The old man wasn't lying. She's opened the summoning channel. Can't you feel it?
Gale's right. The very air around the statue crackles with magic. It sets your teeth on edge.
A stream of pure, undiluted weave. I only have to reach out, and it will carry me to Mystra, wherever she may be.
Go on then, Gale. We'll be here waiting for you when you're finished.
Time was, I'd have given my right arm for a chance to speak with Mystra again. The left one, too. Maybe a knee. Not the message one hopes to receive from a past lover. But her first love was always the weave. At best, I was a close second. When I pictured this moment, I thought I'd feel more in control. Yet, here I am, with palms sweatier than a bugbear's armpit. I always wonder what being nervous would feel like. I hate it. For a wizard, to have the love of the goddess of magic herself was intoxicating. An experience beyond expression. During my time locked away in Waterdeep, I prepared a quite comprehensive speech for her on the subject of our former relationship and the manner in which it ended. Alas, recent events have rendered the majority of it moot, so I'm going to have to improvise. Unless you have any words of wisdom to impart before I go. You'd make a fine three-dragon anti-player, you know? I think it's best I keep a cool head going into this. Approach it like a particularly high-risk round of three-dragon ante. I'll let Mistress show her flight, and then I can see how strong a chance we stand of winning the gambit. I'll only be gone for a matter of moments. The Outer Planes experience time quite differently to our own. Wait for me. Please.
To say.
Gale of Waterdeep, you look well.
As do you. But I assume we're not here solely to exchange compliments. So why am I here?
You discovered what lies at the heart of the Absolute, the crown of Karsus. And you disobeyed my instruction. Why?
Because you had no right to ask that of me. You cast me out. Remember?
You were my lover, my chosen. Yet still you know so little of me. The past cannot be undone with self-pity. Nor can a future be forged. Only with the truth will you see the way ahead. The fragment of magic you tried to return to me was not of my creation. It was the Karsite weave. It is a corrupted, half-born magic, wrought in the brief moment Karsus ascended to godhood. It hungers for power, just as he did, and it can never be sated. You unleashed something that would consume all magic in existence, and yet you thought only of preserving yourself.
So that's what you're scared of. With the crown of Karsus reforged, I could take control of the Karsite Weave.
You can no more control the Karsite Weave than a weather vane could control a storm. That it entered your body and consumed no more than your powers was a miracle. But we will not be granted another. The only reason the orb sleeps is because I have allowed it to feed on the true weave. A temporary measure, but one that will not be enough to save us. With each day that passes, the Elder Brain threatens to become a new kind of god. Its worshippers, a scourge of soulless illithids. If you will not use the orb to end this abomination, then you must find a way to separate crown and host. When you've done this, you must surrender the crown of Karsus to me.
A great ask indeed. You've given me much to think on, as you always did.
So be it. Follow the needle of your own wisdom. We shall see how truly it leads you.
Back on mortal soil once more. I can't believe I saw her. After all this time. Relieved. Drained. Proud of myself for summoning the courage to go to her in the first place. And, if I'm being totally honest, a bit lightheaded. As if it wasn't enough to have seen her again. She didn't exactly summon me there for small talk. The Karsite Weave. Within me this whole time. I knew the orb was no ordinary ball of magic before it to be Karsus's malignant creation. Gods! How did I not see that? True enough. There's a reason such unwitting heroes have been the backbone of lyric and legend for as long as both have existed. Even so, I was hardly some naive apprentice at the time. I considered myself an archmage, and yet was fool enough to be mistaken for a common conjurer. At least now I'm armed with the truth, and Mistra's expectations. Sounds like the door to redemption is open at last. All I have to do is walk through it, carrying the crown of Karsus. Perhaps. I see few other options open to me. If I ever want to reclaim those parts of myself the orb snatched away. If I ever want to be me again. Thank you. There aren't many I'd trust to stand beside me on such a journey. Fewer still who would do so because they believed I deserved such a chance. If I could promise you one thing in return for your faith in me, it's this. I will use everything in my power to ensure we defeat this evil. I will not let you down. Now, I believe we've a date with an Elder Brain to get to. Shall we?
blessing with open arms. And we pity those who would reject her. Hello. I will bask in her febrile radiance.
Get ready to buy!
But that's...
Candle Hallow's tombstones, remembering the deceased with sympathy and skill.
Scales off my
Reserve them now, or there won't be any left!
Another day, another dungeon. Boo would squeeze through, but he just had lunch.
Zen will be back soon. Get ready to buy!
I've got a long road ahead.
Justice walks on 4 feet and sleeps in my boot. Open Sesamitsk.
Still alive, so that's progress.
Zen will be back soon. Get ready to buy!
One day I'll catch a break. What's up for discussion?
So, Gale's hedging his bets with Mistra? I can't say I blame him. Who'd want to hold a power like the crown of Karsus in their hands just to hand it to someone else? I know what my decision would be, but we're all different, of course. Perhaps if you lost a follower or two, I prefer to travel in smaller groups. It's more intimate. Excellent. Now that that's settled, lead on.
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times.
Lovely day for it.
Jahira, Boo is trying his best to explain, but I still do not understand your anger.
Do not hide behind your hamster, Ranger. You do not understand because you do not listen. We were the first to discover the cult. And if you had only waited, we might have marshaled our numbers and...
Good does not wait for evil to button up its breeches. When it offers buttocks for the smacking, Minsk and Boo greet cheek with hand.
This mess falls on our heads, Minsk. The city under siege, its people poisoned by the cult. It all might have been avoided if you had just put your feelings aside and listened. You know better than to believe our victory is some destined thing. I need to be sure that Minsk knows it too.
I have already pledged my sword and hamster both. What more does Minsk have to give?
Your word, Ranger. That next time you will stop and think. I will not always be here to tell you what to do.
If not here, then where? Wherever there is, Minsk and Boo will go too. My hamster, he will not be parted from you again, Jahira.
I missed him too. And try as you might, I know you have not missed my point as neatly as you pretend. Far from me to judge Gale for playing coy with Mistra, but I will not be cleaning up whatever mess she makes of him for it. Flattered as I am, you're fully supported as it is. At your command.
New people with us.
Mistra has forsaken Gale entirely. A crushing blow. But he is strong enough to persevere, I think. You are blessed with several companions as it is. Perhaps dismiss one if you require me. I'm with you.
do.
Oakfather preserve you. The city, you mean? With all its noise, smoke, stone, and bustle? I would not be here given the choice, but I promised you my support, and that is what you shall have. Still, though, this place crawls with life, but little of it flourishes. I see refugees unhoused, the destitute unwanted, orphans unloved. The city is like a forest with an overgrown canopy. Light and nourishment cannot penetrate to those who need it the most, and still it draws them in. The safety of numbers, the promise of civilization, the dream of better. All that potential is too often destined to die in the dark and rot in the gutter. I wish there was a better way. I wish everyone could see the sun, have a full belly, and know nature as a friend. There is a balance that is yet to be found. Listen to me, preaching like an initiate in his cups. Perhaps, but words alone are not enough. But that must wait for now. There are battles yet to be fought. We must save the world before we can dream of ways to better it. I had hoped there might be a greater sense of unnatural steel beings patrol the streets. The printed word sows discontent, and those in need are treated with disdain. You saw how they wished to burn the clothes of a child, as if being crammed in this very city is not the cause of lice and disease. Sometimes it is difficult to see exactly what we are fighting to save here. Sometimes the Shadow Druid's desire to separate nature from all this seems pragmatic, not fanatical. Indeed. But I cannot shake it from my mind, all the same. I was harsh on myself before. On my leadership of the Grove. The decisions I made. Perhaps too harsh, considering this place.
I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go grab a little more food. And then we'll play some more. It'll probably go a little bit longer today because it's not gonna be good weather for a walk today and tomorrow. So I will be right back before the baby wakes up all tight.